Hello and welcome to another fishing adventure. No time for a preamble. First cast, and as you can see, a lure fishing, and I've netted a tiny perch indeed. I'll tell you what though, they all count, and it's always good to get that first one, isn't it? I'm off the mark, I'm not a blanker. I've moved to another spot, and first cast here, no fish, but I did have a pike that followed the lure right the way in to the margins. It's clear water. That's always an advantage when you're lure fishing, especially if you are new to it, because you can see how the lure works. In fact, what I would say, a good tip, if you've never done this type of fishing before, is once you've got your setup, go somewhere where the water is clear and you can actually do a few casts and you can see how the lure works. Maybe different types of lures, you can see how they react in the water. So every little twitch on the rod, you can then see how that transforms to the minnow as I'm fishing with today, or whatever you will be with at the other end. And then of course, once you get used to that, then you fish water that's not so clear. You know exactly what's happening beneath the surface when you cast out. And that's important, because whether you're casting out a small lure like this, or you perhaps chucking out a boilie for the night, it's important to have the confidence to know that your bait's in the right place. It's doing exactly what you want it to do. Anyway, second cast, no sign of the pike. But who knows, if I don't catch a pike, I wouldn't mind catching a few more perch. The water temperature is good, the fish are active, no reason why I shouldn't have a few fish on this short session, and hopefully that's not the kiss of death either. That pike sat there in the swim, in the upper layers of the water. I cast around it a few times. It just wasn't interested. However, its presence alone was enough to deter all the other small fish, the fish that I'm after, because the pike was about 5-6 pounds in weight. So I decided to move on, and I'm trying another peg, and already I've seen lots of fry and smaller perch in the margins, so I'm more hopeful for this particular spot. A second fish, as you can see there, another small one. I'll tell you what though, I'm just glad that my iPhone is still working, because for the second time in a month or so, it's been in the water itself. And that's where this perch is now going. I was pulling the lure through the water, and some, debris on the surface was obviously harbouring a pike underneath it. In fact, I was pulling the lure alongside that, because I know that fish will adapt to these temporary structures, if you like, these temporary snags, these temporary holding or hiding places. And the pike came out of the debris in an almighty splash. It would have been a great footage if you were filming it professionally and it was all slow-mo, because it cleared the water and it lunged at the lure and missed. And I thought, well, maybe that's the end of that one. However, a hungry pike is always after the next meal, and I'm assuming it's the same fish. Of course, it looked the same size, because a few minutes later, casting around back into open water where the fish had gone, I had a battle, an enjoyable one, and eventually I did win that encounter. However, how close was it? The hook came out in the net just as I lifted the fish from the water. Not a massive fish, but I'll tell you what, on the tackle, an incredible fight. I'm back home now in my fishing tackle room. I certainly enjoyed that session. As they say, variety is the spice of life. In my last blog entry, when I was lure fishing for perch, I mentioned that there is a search engine. You can type in words like jigging, mini jigging, lure fishing for perch, that sort of thing, and you'll get every article and blog entry that I've published over the years. A number of people took that up because I know not who was on there, but I know from the statistics that I had a lot of people, or a lot of views, should I say, on different aspects of that particular search engine. So if you're interested in this great angling method, which is very convenient, you can certainly get a lot of sessions in, and as you've seen this evening, a few nice fish along the way as well. Then check out my site and get typing in the search engine. Tight lines, and I'll see you soon.